Well, greetings and salutations, everyone. Welcome back once again, or for the very first time, to the Farts and Crap Show, where today, as per usual, it's your host Anjo here with another video for you guys, which is almost definitely taking the place of the usual Pokemon Emerald Randomized Nuzlocke episode. Sorry if you guys were looking forward to that today. We'll resume the normal schedule tomorrow. But recently we had the Switch 2 Direct on April 2nd, 2025, and just wanted to give you guys my quick little analysis, breakdown, kind of, analysis and breakdown of the Direct. This was a beefy Direct. I think this was the most packed Direct we've had in a long time. It was an hour, which most of the time for their big directs in the past few years, they've done like maybe 40 minutes. As far as I can remember, they haven't done an hour-long one in a very long time. And we just recently had the other direct like a week ago, like a week before this one, that was focused on Switch 1 releases. So Nintendo is definitely trying to walk that line right now of like transitioning smoothly to the new Switch. And a lot of the rumors were confirmed. It's basically the same thing, just more powerful, and it has a few new features. But for the most part, they're going to be keeping up support for the original Switch. And there's a lot of good and a lot of bad, and there's too much information to go over in a quick video, so I'm just going to highlight some of the stuff that was most interesting to me. First of all, to those of you who are wondering, it's going to be available June 5th, and from what people have been gathering, it's going to MSRP for $450. I haven't found an official source on that, but on Nintendo's own website for Mario Kart World, which is going to be $80 by the way, also going to be available at launch. On the website for World though, they do indicate the Switch 2 bundle that comes with the game is going to be $500. So presumably you're going to be saving a few bucks. I think that's where people are getting the $450 figure from. I think it's a safe bet, honestly. And it's a little higher than... It's a little higher of a price tag than most people were expecting. Personally, I was talking about this a while back where we were talking about Switch 2, like predictions and stuff, and I was like, nah, I think they're gonna stick with the $400 price point because they want to be more affordable on the hardware and then make the money back on the software, as they've always done. Of course, they still make money on hardware. They're not like Sony and Microsoft where they lose money on the console, but then they make it back on like accessories and purchases and digital purchases and everything. But yeah, surprisingly, like the game lineup was very different than what I was expecting. I got two things right on my bingo card, basically. And we talked about this a while ago on, I think it was a Smash Brothers episode that we did, where Seth and I were talking about Switch 2 stuff. But like, also I've just been talking about this with some friends, and I was like, yeah, I think we're getting a new Donkey Kong, and we are. I'm not going to talk about that in this video, though. And we're obviously getting a new Mario Kart, because that was like the little clip shown at the very first like 2-minute reveal of the Switch 2. And people very quickly deduced, like, hey, this is not Mario Kart 8. Like, it can't be because of stuff. I don't know. I'm not the biggest Mario Kart guy, so I was like, it looks like Mario Kart 8 to me, but, you know, I believe you guys, you know. And yeah, this apparently is the launch title. We did not get a look at the new 3D Mario that is inevitably coming. Nintendo might be saving that for like their holiday title, but honestly, I don't think they're done revealing like launch titles. Like I think they have a couple more up their sleeve because essentially what we deduced a while ago when we were doing the predictions for Nintendo things coming back and like launch games essentially, that they were probably going to have like 3 or 4 first party titles at launch. So like for Switch 2. I'm not talking about like Switch 1 games that'll also be compatible with Switch 2, like maybe one of those 4 will be a cross-gen thing. But I think they still have a couple up their sleeve for launch. So I think we are going to get a look at that 3D Mario. I don't think it's going to be available at launch, but I've also been saying I think they're going to bring back a new like Star Fox, because like that's one of those games where you kind of have on rails stuff most of the time, and you can do some very convincing, like make it a very pretty game without too demanding hardware limitations. And it's been raining? Is it raining again? Oh my goodness, it might be raining. It's been raining a lot lately. I don't mind it. I love the air quality and stuff. Like, it smells great. But, yeah, I might have to shut that here in a minute. Anyway, I was going to keep this short anyhow. But yeah, new Mario Kart, new Donkey Kong. I think they still have at least one other one up their sleeve. But yeah, this freaking, they're gonna make their money back for sure on software if they're like doing $80 for first party games. And like, this is a Mario Kart. Like, why are we doing 80 MSRP? Like, the other guys aren't even doing that right now. Like, Sony got some backlash when they started, you know, doing 70 for certain games. And then surprisingly, Tears of the Kingdom was 70. But at least there was like the game vouchers thing where you could get 2 for $100, and then that was redeemable on like select titles. I think they got rid of the game vouchers thing, unfortunately. But personally, I did that for Tears of the Kingdom, so the other game I got was just like essentially half off. But yeah, that was the way to go. And speaking of which, they're not going to have free upgrades either. Like, for performance patches, they're literally going to charge for these. So, like, they confirmed for Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, like, they're not really, they're adding like an app, a companion app to the game, which is so stupid. And they're like, oh, okay, well, it's going to be higher frame rate and higher resolution, quote unquote. If you ask me, it's an upscaled 1080. It's the same resolution, they're just upscaling it. And yeah, giving it a 60 FPS patch, basically. And they're going to charge for that. I don't think they've confirmed how much yet, but I imagine it'll be $10 a pop, typically. And that is not a good look for Nintendo, honestly, because, like, I'm assuming the 80 is like Switch 2 version, has all this stuff, blah 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 blah, certain Switch 1 games, I guess. Like for Kirby and the Forgotten Land, they're actually adding to the game in a significant way with the upgrade pack. But if you are a Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack member, then I guess you get the upgrade things, or have access to the upgrade things, as long as you have the membership. Honestly, that just sucks. Like, so it begs the question, are Switch 1 games actually going to play better on Switch 2? Or if we want these enhancements, are we gonna have to, like, you know, purchase upgrade packs? What if they don't have an upgrade pack? Is it going to be essentially the exact same game, like with no better frame rates or anything? And again, it's gonna depend, like, Nintendo doesn't have, like, a monopoly on, like, delivering patches either. Like, it's gonna depend on the developers and publishers. Like, are they gonna put out these patches? I'm assuming for third-party stuff on Switch 2, it's going to be mostly, it's gonna be up to their discretion, obviously. Because for all the upgrade packs that they're charging for, like, it was basically first and second party Nintendo stuff. Because, like, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, yeah, they're Monolith Soft, but the IP is owned by Nintendo. And, like, for Kirby and Forgotten Land, yeah, that's HAL Laboratory, but Nintendo basically owns the Kirby IP, so yeah. But yeah, this was the other new thing. The other main feature that they really shoved in, like, they were really pushing, and it's like the new game chat thing for Switch 2. Honestly, this is cool, in my opinion. They're basically bringing their own first party, like, basically Discord app to Switch 2. So you can have, like, a group chat thing with, like, where you can share your gameplay and, like, also do voice chat directly on the system and, like, video chat and stuff. And they showed this thing for Mario Party Jamboree where it uses, like, the video chat feature for, like, certain mini games and stuff. I don't really care. Like, for functionality and everything, I'm glad it's here. I was really, really hoping they were going to talk about, like, actual, like, capture, because, like, presumably they're still going to have the record gameplay function on the Switch 1, and it should be better. Like, if they're doing this, you should be able to record longer clips at, like, higher quality, or even, like, stream to a platform like YouTube or Twitch or Kick or Trovo or whatever. Hopefully, because, like, if you're doing this kind of stuff, Nintendo, right? If you guys happen to be watching this, anybody at Nintendo, doesn't really matter. Like, having more social features on the system itself that makes sense, which you can still control with parental controls, obviously, because I know it's supposed to be family friendly and blah, 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 blah. That's kind of why they have, like, parental control, like, features and stuff, which they are kind of, like, improving. Basically, you can remove the need for a PC almost entirely. From what I've heard from pretty much everybody, they're just like, yeah, this game share thing, I don't care. Like, we're going to be using Discord anyway, or, you know, Zoom or whatever. Like, and since this is Nintendo's, like, first foray into this kind of feature, like, directly on the system, I'm assuming it's going to be rough. But potentially, like, the Switch 2 has a lot more horsepower. Potentially, it could be very good. Like, there are certain benefits to direct capture and doing things directly from the system, which has some great capabilities. I mean, it's got a 120 hertz screen. It can support up to 4K resolution with HDR. Like, it's a very capable system. Like, people were initially saying, oh, it's going to be like the same base power as, like, a base PS4. Like, kinda, but no. Like, it's, I would say, closer to an Xbox One X, or, like, PS4 Pro with, like, rapid packed math. Like, it's not quite up to like PS5 or Xbox Series X, obviously. But with the right features and support, and if everything like works well, they could be making some very good moves here. Could be. But from the footage they showed of this new game chat thing, it's just not up to snuff. It might be fairly impressive for what it is, but a huge step down for somebody that is maybe accustomed to like similar features that have been available on PC for years. So kind of cool for first party things, especially for multiplayer sessions directly on Switch 2 as they were showing. But yeah, like in the example they showed like 4 people playing like multiplayer online and stuff, and like basically just having their Switch 2s hooked up and like accessing all this stuff and basically gaming in a modern multiplayer kind of environment without the need for a PC. And I was like, okay, yes, that is a possibility. I don't know who would do this. And like, I doubt it's as enjoyable as like how these guys in this commercial that were obviously paid actors like are portraying it. But you know, and the other thing, and never mind, I'll talk about that later. So the Nintendo Switch 2 edition thing, they basically confirmed that there is going to be 3 types of software games. Sorry, because they're going to have other software that's not games. 3 types of games that are playable on Switch 2. Basically, backwards compatible Switch 1 games, which so far looks like a crapshoot. Tons of things have compatibility issues that are confirmed that supposedly they're like trying to figure out. But I wouldn't get your hopes up. The second thing is like native Switch 2 games, obviously. The third is Switch 2 edition games. So this is kind of what I was talking about earlier with like the upgrade path kind of thing that they were talking about. And in the example, they were talking about like Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, which I believe is being handled by Retro Studios, and they've apparently been doing an amazing job. And yeah, it is coming to regular Switch, but the Switch 2 edition of the game is going to be a little bit different in the sense that basically you're going to have mouse controls thanks to the new Joy-Cons. So in the example here, like this doesn't look all that comfortable in my opinion, but I think they're kind of like cramming it together. Like most people are probably going to have a mouse pad like off to the side and just have like the other hand with like the movement controls and other controls off to the left. Basically an evolution of like the Wiimote and nunchuck thing from the Wii days, but with an actual mouse, not like an optical sensor you point at the screen. And this is going to be cool, especially for FPS games. And this is like a great showcase for what this is going to be capable of. And more on that in a second, but they better support third-party mice and other accessories because, oh my goodness, the prices of the accessories too, it's not just the games. The new Joy-Cons are going to be $90. The new Pro controller is going to be $80, and it's basically the same controller with a new button and a headphone jack. But yeah, the new Joy-Cons. So they're calling them the Joy-Con 2. The updated Joy-Con 2 controllers have motion controls and HD Rumble 2, so supposedly better HD Rumble, along with the new C button for easy game chat access and all new mouse controls and compatible games. The set includes both a left and right Joy-Con 2 controller along with a pair of Joy-Con 2 straps. Ooh, a wrist strap. Perfect for local multiplayer with a friend in compatible games. Oh, I can only use the wrist strap in compatible games? What? Only for use with the Nintendo Switch 2 system. So yeah, It says a Nintendo Switch 2 system comes with one left and one right Joy-Con 2 controller and two Joy-Con 2 straps. Joy-Con 2 left and right are also each sold separately. Manufacturer suggested retail price, right, that's MSRP. Actual price may vary. Additional game, multiplayer mode, internet, and Switch Online account, camera compatible. Terms and conditions. Alright, the fine print stuff. Granted, like, I think these look pretty cool. And the analog sticks are larger than the Joy-Con analog sticks. Hopefully, like, pretty different in design, because I think we all remember the Joy-Con drift fiasco. So hopefully, right, TMR or Hall effect or something, preferably. But like, this is pretty cool. And like, both the left and the right Joy-Con they both have the mouse function. Which, cool. But I don't know about you guys, but I have a couple of mice already that are actually ergonomic. I don't use them most of the time, but I have them and they didn't cost me $90. So I don't know about this. Like, I appreciate, because like the system comes with a pair, obviously. It's kind of part of the system. But like the little rail attachment things apparently maybe aren't included when you buy a pair of Joy-Cons. Supposedly they do come with the console as well. They're supposed to like kind of slot into these things that are for mouse mode specifically. So it raises the thing. And I've talked about this before when I was like, oh hey, this is probably a mouse kind of function. And like, I found out, oh, actually, yeah, some other people and gaming journalists already pointed this out, and that this is likely what it is. Well, good for you guys. I agree. Like, I think that's what it is, and it is. But yeah, the little clip-on plastic things, like $13, 15 or whatever. I can't remember. It's not great, in my opinion. And I'm very worried about like the slotting in and slotting out aspect of the Joy-Con on the Switch 2. It doesn't look very safe. Like, the rails were a lot more, like, I felt better about that. But the magnetism thing and having the actual like connectors like on the system that seem like it could easily get damaged, if I do end up picking up one of these, which I doubt it, like, probably, hopefully, eventually, but, like, if the prices weren't outrageous, then yes. Like, if they showed anything first party that I was, like, super excited for, then, yeah, I would try to get one. But based on how they were showing this, like, being used, it does not look comfortable. Like, as in the mouse form, that seems like something, because like, I have rheumatoid arthritis, alright? Like, my hands need ergonomic controllers and stuff. This looks like something that would give me cramping within like 20 minutes of use. Like, not looking forward to that. Like, the functionality is cool. And there are other FPS games, including Borderlands 4 and Cyberpunk 2077, coming to Switch 2. Granted, I don't think they're going to look all that great, probably like lowest preset settings, but they have the potential to do what Sony and Microsoft are not with their consoles. Granted, on PS5 and Xbox Series, like, You can do mouse and keyboard on certain games, but this is not exactly mouse and keyboard. So if they're really going to be pushing this, I'm a little bit worried that they're not going to have third-party accessory support, and that's pretty much it, because I can see Nintendo like trying to push these as much as possible and not having any third-party accessory support for like mice and stuff. Like officially licensed Switch 1 accessories, yes. Like your preferred like MSI gaming or Logitech or Corsair like mouse and keyboard combos, probably not, but we'll see. And yeah, I said before, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond looks incredible, and for the Switch 2 edition, quality mode is going to be 4K 60 HDR. Like, granted, and they did say, actually, the footage shown was quality mode, and it did look very smooth. In performance mode, they're going to have up to 120 FPS at 1080p maximum, but still with HDR. And like, that's awesome. Granted, in handheld, it's going to be 720p, but it's still going to have 120 FPS for the performance mode, which is going to actually be taking advantage of that 120 Hz screen. And like, I have a feeling, I hope I'm wrong on this, but I have a feeling this is going to be one of those Nintendo things yet again, where they have like a game close to launch that really shows off what the system is capable of, and then they almost like don't really do it again for like years. Hopefully not. And like, I'm sure this is like the game they're using to like show off like the fidelity and everything of what the system can do. And sure, it can probably push those visuals like a little bit better, because at its core it's a Switch 1 game, and I'm sure it's going to run smooth on the Switch 1 just at, 1080p 60, and not with HDR. Personally, I don't care about HDR. And the other thing they showed off, new thing to Switch Online. Only one, but it's GameCube, which I was not expecting. I was predicting it would be like Saturn and Dreamcast and maybe DS. But yeah, Nintendo GameCube, which is they're renaming, I guess, to Nintendo Classics for the retro systems. A lot of good stuff is coming, like Pokemon XD, Gale of Darkness, Fire Emblem, Path of Radiance. Those games are expensive. Like, very expensive. So, prohibitively expensive. So the fact that like there's going to be an easy way to enjoy these amazing games, fantastic news. And they're reissuing a GameCube controller that's like Bluetooth, which hopefully the existing GameCube controllers are going to work on this app, because they've already confirmed some accessories from Switch 1 that are going to be compatible on Switch 2, and one of those is the GameCube adapter. So hopefully that'll just work perfectly fine. And hopefully they'll actually keep those GameCube controllers in stock this time, because Nintendo, what the hell? I wanted to buy one of these things at MSRP, and that has not been an option for at least 5 years. They were supposed to be $30. They were supposed to be in stock at a bunch of different retailers, and like Nintendo was pushing them for like Smash Ultimate and all these other things, and they've been sold out for like a solid 5 years. Not even joking. Like, right, for a while it's been cheaper to actually get the import version off of Amazon than actually just going, buying one at MSRP, because it's in stock. So I'm hoping that's changing, because like I still don't have a decent GameCube controller. Like, I went with like a cheap third-party one because I could buy it new, and it was available at a retro game store. And it's some knockoff like Chinese imitation. It's bad. It's really bad. And I've been wanting to get one of those for a long time. It has not been available. So please, keep the GameCube controllers in stock. They're one of your best controllers of all time. Like, I don't understand why that's a problem. And yeah, first thing they showed, Wind Waker. I have a feeling this is why Nintendo, and I talked about this in a recent Wind Waker episode, but I have a feeling this is why they haven't brought Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD to the Switch, is because they want to put them on the GameCube Classics collection, more than likely. Presumably Wind Waker is going to be like one of like 4 games at launch to be on the service. And cool, you can play the GameCube version. Doesn't really look as good as Wind Waker HD. Even though it is upscaled and stuff, it's still the GameCube version and it's still emulation. But whatever. Apparently even Yoko Taro like burned Nintendo a little bit on Twitter about this announcement and be like, it'd be great if we could buy that. I guess he's a Wind Waker fan, which is awesome. And yeah, off to the third-party stuff. So Elden Ring is coming to Switch too. It's going to be called the Tarnished Edition. It's probably going to be $80 as well because it does come with Shadow of the Erdtree and some new features, which... when I say features, that's not entirely true. They're going to be adding some stuff to this version. Essentially some cosmetic options for Torrent, some new weapons and armor, and I think that was all that was confirmed. And it's not going to be exclusive to the Switch 2 version, because I looked this up, I did a little bit of a deep dive. So on Bandai Namco's website, they confirmed Elden Ring Tarnished Edition is an all-in-one version that includes the base game Elden Ring, as well as the major downloadable content. Why did they say it that way? It was an expansion. Shadow of the Erdtree. The title will also feature new armor, weapons, and customization features for Torrent's appearance. Elden Ring Tarnished is slated for release in 2025, no specific date, on Switch 2. The additional content in the title will also be available on other platforms. So yes, if, like me, you've had Elden Ring since launch and you got Shadow of the Erdtree when it came out, I'm betting this is just going to be a free update to the game that probably launches around the same time this one launches. So, or maybe the update will go out before that, I don't know. I don't think it'll be a launch title. I also have a feeling it might not run very well, because based on the footage they showed, it looked like the game running on the lowest possible settings. Like, basically, if you wanted to run the game like on a PlayStation 3, it did not look good. So this is presumably going to be the weakest version of the game. Like, but I don't know. Maybe they just lowered the settings as much as possible for the trailer because they wanted it to be smooth and stuff. I have no idea. No idea. But at least it's coming to Switch too. And that's kind of the same with the other third-party games. Like I said, the CD Projekt Red confirmed Cyberpunk 2077 is coming to Switch too. Also looks like it's running on a brick. Like, the lowest possible settings. Like, I don't think they even had any shadows. Like, textures were low quality. It didn't look good by any stretch of the imagination. That's coming from somebody who played Elden Ring, or not Elden Ring, Cyberpunk at launch on PS4, like, it looked bad. And Borderlands 4 is coming to it, like, I don't know. I don't know about that one. Like, maybe? You know? Like, that one might be good. Like, Gearbox is... I think it's Gearbox is doing that. They are pretty good at optimizing things for lower spec hardware. So, that one might be pretty cool. Like, I don't know. And the big news that has everybody, like, not very happy. The Desk Bloods. So, this is coming out not even this year. Like, they said tentatively 2026. And also, it's going to be a Switch 2 exclusive. Like, for now. They didn't say this. This is just my speculation. But I don't think it's going to stay a Switch 2 exclusive. Like, they also confirmed Final Fantasy VII Rebirth or whatever is coming to Switch 2. That was a PS5 exclusive. Or Final Fantasy VII Remake actually was a PS4 exclusive, quote unquote, for a while. And now it's available on PC. So, is it going to be exclusive? No. You kidding me? No. Like, for a while. Like, I'm assuming it's going to be the usual timed exclusive where it's, like, only available on that platform for about a year, and then it comes to other platforms. But yeah, it's a new FromSoft game, like, exclusive to the platform, and it looks really good. Like, it looks really good. Even, like, from a technical perspective, like, it looked way better than Elden Ring. I'll tell you that. And visually, probably the most impressive Switch 2 game that they showed that wasn't from Nintendo. The most impressive one is definitely Metroid Prime 4. Like, that game looked amazing. But third party, yeah, it'd be Dust Bloods, yeah. And yeah, they're gonna have a creator voice article, I guess is what they're calling it, like today, where Miyazaki is going to share more details about the game, and it'll be on the official Nintendo website. So I guess it's just gonna be like one of those blog posts, basically, from Nintendo. But yeah, April 4th, so it's literally gonna be on their website today. And so yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It honestly, people are like, "Oh, dude, it looks like Bloodborne 2, and it's going to be only on the Switch 2." Wow, way to continue Bloodborne's legacy of not being available on other platforms. Like, yeah, it seems to be that way. And this was the other big thing that literally stole the show for a lot of people. Silksong got confirmed for this year, which is huge. Like, Hollow Knight is a legendary game. So good. And it doesn't play well on the Switch, but it's a great game. And looks like Silksong is going to be using a similar engine, so presumably as a Switch 2 title, it'll run way better than Hollow Knight on the Switch. But and I'm hoping there's an update for Hollow Knight, like for the Switch 2, that just like performance patch. Because it's a great game. It really is. But the paid upgrade paths just to have the performance patches is a bad look. Like, I can get if you're adding... I get it if you're adding stuff to the game and essentially you're buying a DLC. Like, Kirby and the Forgotten Lands definitely seems like more of that. But the fact that you have to pay for a performance patch for like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, which again, first party games, and again, Tears of the Kingdom was already an increased price tag. It's a bad look. It's a bad look. And with games like being at like 80 for like Mario Kart World, I don't have high hopes for this. Like, overall, it's very cool. What they showed, some really impressive stuff that's like seems to be on par with other offerings like Steam Deck and, you know, Nine Odins and Lenovo Legion Goes and what's the other one? MSI Claws and stuff like that. But from Nintendo, you know? And with some very compelling features and stuff and a compelling price point because yeah, 450 not great, like a little bit higher than people were ready for, like they were kind of like, oh yeah, it's going to be 400. Probably should have been, and I think this is just old Nintendo with their methodology of like we have to make money on hardware sales. It's like you don't. You can lose a little bit on the hardware, making back with accessories and software, but you could lower that asking price a little bit. It really could. And but yeah, I don't see a reason to get one of these aside from first party offerings, because for third party games I would rather just get it on the more powerful hardware I already own. Unless there's like some compelling reason to actually get it on Switch 2, and like sure, having exclusive games from third party partners and developers is like cool. That's great. But I didn't see a single thing where I'm like, oh yeah, dude, 100%. Like having a more powerful handheld, having a more powerful Switch that'll presumably play all my Switch games. Great. But are they going to play better on Switch 2? Are they going to play exactly the same? Because I like on my PS5, it plays PS4 games like better than the PS4 Pro could, and didn't have to pay for upgrade paths. Like sometimes Sony does that with like their first party stuff, but usually that's like a significant upgrade kind of a thing. Like with the Horizon Zero Dawn like remaster basically. Like which is pretty much a full-blown remaster, by the way. Like very different from the original game. Like leagues different from like base Tears of the Kingdom to Switch 2 edition Tears of the Kingdom. Like that's just running the game better. Horizon Zero Dawn's difference is massive, and that's like a $10 upgrade. So, and yeah, most of the time, yeah, it'll just play your existing library better for like on Xbox too, with like backwards compatibility and stuff. It just plays them better. So it like this is cool. And I'm glad they have third-party support this time because they had a bunch. They had a pretty big section of this direct that was just like, now from our third-party partners. And there was a lot of stuff. And of course they're getting on board because this thing's gonna sell like hotcakes. But I'm assuming like we're gonna go through the same crap as we did back in 2017, where you could not find a Switch at MSRP until like mid 2018. Like they just got bought up, and you know, scalpers and stuff, and just yeah, you could not find one. So And it was the same way with the PS5 too. I didn't get mine for like 2 years after launch because they were just not readily available. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't see a reason to try to get one of these, but I don't know. If you guys want to help make it possible, you can always do that. You can leave a super thanks on the video or something. And we'll see. We'll see if we can raise the funds for it. Cool. I'll get it. I'll do analysis on all kinds of stuff and let you guys know as it goes along. But for the time being, I don't see the point right now. Aside from those first party Nintendo stuff. And like, if you're excited about Metroid Prime 4 or like the new Mario Kart or the new Donkey Kong game, or I think that was it as far as new games go, right? Mario Kart, Donkey Kong, and Metroid Prime 4, which is also a Switch 1 game, so I'm kind of hesitant to even count that one. I don't think they showed anything else new that was first party. But yeah, for third party stuff, you'll likely just want to play it on a different platform. But, yeah. And plus, here's the other thing. We're likely only 2, maybe 3 years away from like the next round of consoles, like PS6 and the new Microsoft one. I don't know why I didn't say Microsoft Xbox, but and then those will completely blow the Switch 2 out of the water. Definitely in terms of power, like teraflops, like. But people are still going to buy Nintendo for first party stuff and accessibility and like the family. Nintendo definitely has their install base and they've been absolutely crushing it in the Switch generation. So I have no doubt this transition is going to be pretty good for them. Like, it's not at the best time because of like economic situations and blah blah blah, but they definitely have their install base, and I'm just predicting for the first year it's going to be almost impossible to find one of these at MSRP. So if you're interested, they do have a pre-order page on their website where you can kind of register the things if you're signed in, and they have a couple of other criteria or whatever, and it's like a queue kind of to like invite to pre-order. So if you want to get one at launch, that is your best bet, 100%. Like, you can try other retailers and stuff, but I would say that's your best bet. And that's pretty much it. So I don't think there was anything else to talk about, though. But yeah, up to 4K, like, I expected that. The 120 hertz and like certain supported games for up to 120 frames per second, was not expecting that. That was, that was a little different. So anyway, but yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I review every comment that comes into the channel. And before we get going, it's time for the outro, the special thanks, the updates, all that good stuff, and a very special thank you going out to the current Farts and Crap Show members, which at the time of recording is Novelis Draconis, Aaron Chick, and 97 Johnny Boy. Thank you so very much for choosing to support the show a bit more directly via channel membership. It vastly helps out. Very much appreciate it, and it is very much optional. And yeah, if you want to be incredibly awesome like these amazing people and get in on all those membership benefits, check out that join button down below. There's also a link in the description that talks about becoming a channel member. That does the same thing in case there's no join button for you. I've heard that happen sometimes. And before we get into membership tiers, a quick little word on YouTube handles. That is why 97 Johnny Boy has an @ symbol in front of his screen name there. That is a handle. They're unique identifiers on the platform that help with a number of things, namely navigation. And he has a channel of his own. It's great stuff. I highly recommend it, which you can easily go check out just by going to youtube.com/@97johnnyboy, and it'll take you straight there, because handles make URLs a lot shorter. You can also punch a handle into YouTube search. It will narrow down your results significantly, pretty much exclusively to the content from that creator. And since handles are 100% unique, it's another way to double check, make sure you're in the right place. But membership tiers around here start at $3 a month. That's only 10 cents a day, gets you into all the basic stuff, including getting to vote on the series that get made here on the channel via the Members' Choice polls. It's a thing we do once a month for a full 7 days over on the membership tab, and that is how all of the series get decided. So we did just wrap one up for March. It was the last week of the month. That's March 2025, by the way. And that was deciding the series to follow Pokemon Emerald Randomized Nuzlocke. And the winner for that one was Final Fantasy IX. So thank you guys for choosing that one. It's one of my favorite games, period. And we will have one for April. It's likely going to be towards the end of the month because the series to follow Sekiro has already been decided. And Wind Waker HD just started recently, but I guess April's might be deciding the series that comes after that. That's just speculation early in the month. But I'll have a better idea on that once we get closer to the middle of the month, so stay tuned for a future announcement on that. Because this is an approximation of future announcements from the past. So if you want all the announcements as they happen and the bell doesn't work for you, I get it, the bell does not work for me either, but there are 4 other ways you can stay up to date. You have the post tab here on the channel, the Farts and Crap Show Twitter /X, the Bluesky, and the Discord. I always post on all 4 whenever there's an announcement, so regardless of which one of those works for you, you can stay up to date. And links for those are down in the description, also on the channel banner. But yeah, that's gonna do it for now. So thank you all once again for being here, guys. Till next time, take care, and I hope you all have an incredible day.